That's what it says, at least.
I'm going to give it a couple of seconds.
You think I could have picked a worse shirt?
Yeah. Couldn't have picked a worse spot for me to sit in. It's like, down over there.
You want to trade chairs so I'm taller than you? Oh, goodness.
Yes, we just went live.
Did we?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. I think the chat worked just fine there. So we're going to try streaming this using the regular YouTube studio webcam. I think that'll work just fine.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's more than you watching, so we're good.
I'm not even on there right now. I'm on Twitter trying to go, yo, people, tune in.
You're like, yeet. Oh, my God. Why you got me saying yeet for now?
I don't know. That's not my problem.
Oh, my God, on my keyboard. Man, I haven't been out here for like, what, 2 months?
Yeah.
Nah, it hasn't been that long because we did bring those other tables out here.
Yeah, but we didn't actually do anything out here.
Yeah, I've been a bad YouTuber. Horrible YouTuber. I haven't made a video in like forever.
We need to fix this.
Actually, you know what? I actually have some videos filmed.
You just need to upload them?
I just need to like edit them, and actually I need to download them onto the computer, edit them, and then put them up. Yeah, it's still on the camera.
Jeez, dude.
It's bad.
Kind of like I need to work on editing up the other video from when we went to Red Rocks. I'm not saying what it is though, just because I don't want to spoil the surprise because it's
cool.
It's funny.
But guys, I want to thank you for joining us. Today we're going to unbox. I hate saying the words like that. We're going to unbox some filament. I reached out to a company recently on Facebook because what it was, I don't like buying multiples of a filament before I try it. You know.
You mean you don't like buying a crate of filament and then figuring out it's all hot garbage and then you're stuck?
Well, yeah, that's in a raunchy way of saying it. Yeah, that's the truth. But what it was, I reached out to this company because there's a GST 3D.
Greg, Scott, Tom 3D.
Yeah. Anyway, reached out to them because I saw their filament on there. Now, in the past, I have done a lot of videos using AMZ 3D filament. That's been my favorite go-to filament for a long time. Problem is, I go on Amazon now, and it is gone from the United States. I know they were having issues with selling in the United States. I'm afraid they probably pulled out, which I can't really blame them because AMZ 3D and Amazon Basics is not the same filament.
Yeah.
But yet they would return Amazon Basics filament as if it was AMZ 3D's filament, and it wasn't. Long story short, I think they got the wrong end of the deal, and I think they just got tired of it, which I can't say to blame them. But with that said, I decided I want to go ahead and start trying different filament. I need to go ahead and get back into 3D printing again. So I was reaching out.
Really?
I know, right? So I reached out to this company and it's like, hey, is there a way I can just buy one roll of your filament without having to drive to Florida to pick it up? Because that's the way it works if you buy one roll of filament. And when they found out that I had a YouTube channel, they're like, hey, you know what? Here. And they sent me some rolls free of charge, which thank you very much. I'm really looking forward to trying this out. I also mentioned Calvin was going to try it out, and they're like, well,
here's the second box.
So I told Calvin it's up to him which box he wants to open up. I just want to open one up. I want to try it out. If we have time tonight, go ahead and 3D print something, maybe a Vinci or Marvin or something. We'll print something out with it and just see how it works. So
I guess here's what we could do is we could always, hey, if there's colors that I have that you like and vice versa, we can kind of mix and match.
Mix and match, do whatever we want, you know?
Thanks for knocking my train over.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm going to spend a ton of time on that.
And Calvin was afraid that he's going to dox me, so he
spray painted it right
all the
before
labels.
The stream started. I think the paint's still wet.
It probably is. Oh my goodness.
It's like
That's
Christmas.
right to the edge right there. GST 3D Global Solution Technology is the name of the company. Pretty sweet box.
Ooh, silver.
It is made in USA. This was a question that we had before we aired tonight. We were like, hey, I wonder where it's made. Well, it says right there, made in the United States. That's...
Dude, how did they know my 2 of my 3 favorite colors already? Black and silver.
So we ironically we opened the right boxes because I asked was there a way I could get some violet because I know my wife likes violet. So they said we opened the right boxes, man.
And you know, I got here. I'll pop mine open.
Pop it open, man. Ooh, look at the orange.
Oh yeah.
The light is horrible in here, though, man.
We need to fix that.
Yeah.
So here's some silver. It looks better in person. I promise. Huge fan of silver, by the way. So certain somebody's watching, you'll know.
Get this out of the way.
And then I've got 2 rolls of black.
And my favorite color,
Blue.
blue. Look at that. That's
Nice.
actually a really nice shade of blue right there.
That is a nice shade of blue. Now, one thing I will say that I really, really appreciated on their website is the fact that they also listed the hex values for the different colors they had. And as somebody who's done a little bit of Photoshop work and stuff, that's really, really nice. So I don't know how color accurate it is, but it's nice that they did that. How many black filaments did they give us?
No, that's the Black Edition.
Ah.
Black Edition.
Okay, so here, you get 1 roll of black, because they gave us 2 rolls of black, like black color filament.
Okay.
I'll keep the black and I'll keep the silver. How's that sound?
Okay.
So those are 2 colors that I will definitely use in projects, and you're more than welcome to have the rest.
You sure?
Yeah, trust me.
Let's see. This enough off camera so that it's not like tricking
Let
the
me.
sensor. Yeah, that's not bad.
You want me to move them?
No, we're good.
All right.
That's perfect right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up this blue. We're going to go ahead and break out a 3D printer. You pick a printer, whatever printer you want.
Let's just use the Genius.
Okay.
I love the Genius.
Now it is vacuum sealed. You can see where it's indented right there. That's cool. Am I in your way?
Yeah.
It does have some desiccant in there to keep it dry. It looks like it's wound really nice.
That's always nice.
Yeah.
Although I'm not a winding snob, but that is nice.
Well,
to
as
see.
long as it's not tangled, I'm good.
Yeah, well, we all know it gets tangled in the package, and if it gets tangled, you're supposed to return it, right?
You'd be surprised how many people return it after they've dropped it.
I know. I'm being completely sarcastic.
I know you
do
are.
not do that. Okay, that is a low blow move.
Calvin's always sarcastic, by the way, if anybody's watching.
Thank you for pointing that out. Everybody at work is aware as well.
Oh, goodness.
Where did the paper towels go?
They're right over here.
Oh, okay.
Are we going to?
Yeah, I'm going to pour some liquid love on the bed.
Yeah, do it, man.
Sound like Tom Lipton from Ox Cool saying that. Sir,
I
you
haven't
need to.
fired that one up for a while, huh? We don't have any canned air in here, do we?
I think we do.
Yeah, it's not that dusty.
I'm just trying to get the bed all nice. And
Actually, yes, it is that dusty.
You, sir, need to use your printers more.
Yes, I really need to break this one back out and do some printing with it.
I wonder where my. I mean, I'm not going to bring it up with me, but I wonder where my old Thingomatic is hiding. So that thing would be fun to bust out again.
You know, start it preheating so we can pull that.
Yeah, just give me a second trying to get all of the glue off.
Look at that, still not bad.
Okay. Tools, change, boot.
So, Randy, how are you doing, my friend? Thank you for joining us. Got 10 rolls of GST last week. Nice.
That's a baller move.
Okay, so he says it prints really well.
Do you want to load the filament into the top so it's in the sensor so it doesn't flip out?
Let's see here. That way, bring it that way, and bring it over the top. Slice and dice. I like that blue. That's a nice blue right there, man.
That it is. It's almost done.
Get the artillery right there, front and center, you know?
So Tracy, if you're watching this, we are now showing off the beautiful artillery. You're welcome.
For the money, that's a really good printer.
Yeah. Quite honestly, I don't get why they get as much crap as they do. But then again, if it's not a Prusa or a Creality, then it's like not the greatest thing ever. Whatever.
Yeah, all printers are pretty good, pretty decent anymore.
At the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the tools that make the person; it's the person using the tools.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, case in point, back when you let me try sandblasting, I was a threat to society doing that. And thankfully, it didn't kill any of us, but it's like, I couldn't do a tenth of what you could do with it. But, you know, doesn't mean it was bad at sandblaster. It's just, I didn't know what I was doing.
It's just one of those things. You got to play around with it for a long time.
Nice little blobby blob.
That's a hot blocky blob, by the way.
It's only 200C.
So what temperature you want to print at?
Just do my usual. I usually will start out with unknown filament at 210.
210? Okay.
I figure I tend to print hot at 220, but I figure 210 is a good starting point because it's in between 200 and 220, which is the usual range, if you will.
Okay.
People in the chat, please comment because we're feeling a little here.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if make sure our audio is working. It looks like it is.
Let me call it up on my phone and double check.
Let's make sure we're not like. In fact, let me double check and make sure I don't have anything that is. So we're going to try streaming this using. Yeah, sounds all right.
Sounds all right.
Looks smooth.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 people watching. One of them is probably you.
I'm not actively watching it.
Yeah, but you logged into it. Well, now it's up to 5, so it may not.
Hey,
Aaron!
The other Amy runs in his house.
I still like to see any Aaron at the near. Okay, so now let's go ahead and we'll bring up Kira. What is this one? 4.5, I think it is. Oh, it's 4.7.1 is available now.
Don't.
Why not?
It's a disaster.
Is it? It can't be that bad.
It's bad. Just don't.
Artillery Genius. There we go. Oh, yeah, I gotta find me I gotta go over here to Thingiverse and download a Marvin.
You already don't have one on there?
It's been a long time since I've changed hard drives since then. Thingiverse. Let's see here. Marvin or Vinci?
Up to you. I mean,
Probably let's go with a Marvin. It'd be faster.
yeah. Do the King Marvin. That one's really fun.
King Marvin. I've never seen the King Marvin.
It's a remix by 3D Hubs. It has the crown on top, which is
That's cool.
Yeah. I like it because it has the crown on top, which makes it a little more unique. We should scale it to like 150% or something like that.
Okay, so let's go back over here to Kira.
Drag the model in.
King Marvin.
It's a tiny model, so we're going to want to scale it up. Do like 200%.
200%.
Yeah.
Scale. 200.
Nice.
First, let's go through the settings here.
Shouldn't need any.
You want 0.25 or
That's fine. Just
or 0.2?
0.25.
Okay.
I mean, the main thing is we just don't want it to, you know.
Are we only doing? What's this? I never print with one. Want to go 0.8? So it's 2.
Yeah.
Or is that enough, or should we go the 1.2 that I normally do?
I don't know. Don't make me run to the cold and get my laptop and slice it for you.
Be fine. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, never mind. What am I doing here? That's all got to be a 0.4. I don't remember these settings. Of course, it's been so long since I printed. 0.8.
Wait, I think the nozzle thickness. Go back.
Yeah, that's what I had to go back to 0.4.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it's stupid because that's the actual.
I was being stupid. I was putting 0.8 in for the nozzle thickness. I was like, no, I'm being an idiot about it. Let's see here. Infill 5%.
Yeah,
Zigzag.
sure. Just
What's your favorite one?
gyroid.
Gyroid. What's
It's
a
the
gyroid?
one that does that cool jelly bean look. Don't mess with any of the other settings. It's fine.
Print speed.
That's probably fine.
Wall speed.
That's fine.
Outer wall speed. I just
Mm.
want to slow that down a little bit. We'll just leave it. I don't care. There's no support, so we're not going to worry about support speed, travel speed. Naval retraction. Retraction speed 40. Homing all.
Yeah.
Z hop 0.5.
Cooling good.
Where's our temperature? I don't remember seeing a temperature on here. If I went this blind.
Material. It's under the material tab, which is right above speed.
Oh, the materials tab has been shut off. Okay, that's 210.
That's good.
Build plate 60. Let's take that 65, huh? Yeah.
That's probably good.
Flow 100. Initial flow
120.
120.
Yeah.
And 115.
Giving me anxiety here, tweaking everything.
Well, I want to look right. Give it the best it can do, you know. Why is it showing a brim count? We're doing a skirt.
I think it's this is why I don't use later versions of Cura.
Okay, let's see here. 51 minutes.
Let's do it.
Save to removable.
Eject.
Eject. There you go.
Chat is missing you.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they cussing me out yet?
Yes.
Cool. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Thank you for joining. You got Hannah up in the house?
How's it going?
Finally got a haircut. Yes, I did.
Oh, you
Now,
did.
you did get a haircut.
I did get a haircut
When did you get this?
this morning.
Because it was still on last night.
I decided I was going to stop looking like a gangly crackhead and actually look a little more presentable. So this morning, I logged into the Supercuts app and rolled on over to the one that's over. I forget. It's the one over by the Safeway.
Supercuts?
Yeah. You know where the 7-Eleven is? You hang a left to get there. It's over on the nicer side of town.
Oh, yeah, I never go over there. So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's over where my insurance agent is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just figured it was like, when I checked in online, it was like, they opened at 9 and there was like no wait. I'm like, you know what? Let me do it. So my hair
That's
has a little
good.
time to grow out. But the girl's like, do you want a little shorter? I'm like, you know what? Being that it's been like probably pushing like 9 months since I last got a haircut. I'm like, yes, let's cut it like an inch shorter because I'm like, my hair grows like a weed. So that way I can maximize it.
You mean a baby grew in the amount of time that your hair did?
Yeah.
Wow.
But no, it was honestly getting to the point where it was getting like really irritating. So I was just like, you know what? It's time to make myself look presentable.
You know what, Calvin?
Yes.
I don't think you leveled this bed. You know, I'm shocked and I'm dismayed that you didn't level this bed before before starting this print,
You know how many times I've loaded, and I'm using the nickname Baby Sidewinder because that's what I nicknamed my Genius. You know how many times I've loaded the Baby Sidewinder in my car, driven it down, and then it's been perfectly fine when I pull it out of the car.
You know how many times I pull printers on and off of this table and I never even bothered to re-level them?
Where's your BL Touch, sir? Where's your dial indicator, sir?
I only have one printer that's got BL Touch to it, and I just don't like it. It's this
The Flash.
the Flash. I mean, it works all right, but I still find myself adjusting it a little bit to make up any differences.
The thing is, though, you have to use the correct. Here's the thing. Now, here's the thing with the BL Touch that's pre-installed on there. You have to have the right starting codes, or it's only going to probe the center of the bed, and that's it. It's not going to go around and probe the 9 points and then make the mesh and do all that stuff. Yeah. So you have to have the proper settings to make it work. Because people are like, or the same with manual mesh bed leveling. If you don't have the right starting codes in your program, it's not going to work. So yeah. It's not to say that it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just like anything, you have to know how to properly implement it, and then you can go from there. So.
One thing I do have to say that I like about this style roll,
you can see through it.
You can see through it. You know exactly how much filament you've got left on there.
I like it too because if you needed to dehydrate the filament, the fact that there is more airflow is a good thing as well.
Yeah. So
plus, it's less plastic on the spool, which is another perk.
So it saves on shipping costs too.
And materials.
It's not solid.
Yeah. So kudos in that department to them for that. I really like that.
I just can't get over the fact it's made in the United States. That's shocking to me, actually.
Yeah, considering
I honestly, whenever when I first got it, I just assumed it was going to be rebranded filament.
Yeah.
And it would be just like every other filament is pretty much. But the fact that it's actually made in the United States and for that cost, that's really a pretty decent price for it being made here.
I mean, it's like it's a bit apples to oranges comparing it to Protoplast, because Protoplast is more of a, I would say, like a boutique filament maker. But it's nice to see another U.S.-based brand, obviously, because I think one of the only other ones that I know is Atomic, and I'll be honest, I've never used their filament, so I don't know.
Protoplast, Atomic. Who else is there?
There used to be Maker Geeks, but they went out of business.
Why did they?
They made a really good 3D printing resin, but I don't think they exist anymore last I checked.
Man.
Sucks. From where I'm at, that's looking good.
Some good layer pouring going on right there, man.
Oh boy.
That's looking good. Wish we could get the camera right up there and watch it, but it's almost impossible to get it right up on it.
We need like a second handheld camera with like a manual focus.
Well, I got this one up here.
Yeah, what we really need is a camera with a manual focus.
I don't know how you would add another camera onto this stream, though.
I think that's OBS territory.
Yeah. And we're already too late for that.
Yeah. This was more of a, let's get Jimmy out here and turn on a printer stream, not a stream.
This was a Jimmy just got home from work. Let's get him out here so he can make a video because he's so lazy anymore. I'm not lazy, by the way. It's just
your head is blocked by the beam on the printer.
I'm not lazy anyway. I'm just tired by the time I get home.
I know the feeling. I mean, by rights, what time are you leaving the house at?
This morning, I actually left a little bit later this morning. I left around about 6:05 a.m. I normally leave at about 5:45 a.m. And then I get up there and grab a bite to eat and kind of relax before I go in. I've got to be in the door by 7. But the way traffic has been, it's some days it's like no traffic, and then other days like today, it was just a lot of traffic.
It's strange because it's like there's no rhyme or reason to it.
Right.
It's like I'll be driving home on like a Friday night and I'll hit no traffic, but on like a Wednesday night, where did everybody come from? There's like 3 accidents and, Yeah. I mean, it's like, heck, the other night, I hit 2 accidents that were serious enough that they had shut down lanes on the freeway. Like, I barely made it to the edge of the 101 interchange on the south end of San Jose.
Yeah.
The freeway got shut down for like 20 minutes because some people decided to crash and shut down like 2 of the lanes there, which was kind of frustrating. And then I got on the Morgan Hill and I saw the sign was saying like 80 some odd minutes to Salinas, and I'm like, hang that. I'm almost on empty, so I just ran to a gas station in Morgan Hill, got gas, and got back on the road. But I'm like, what is the problem with you people?
Which gas station did you hit in Morgan Hill?
It's the one off.
Monterey Highway?
No, I think it's Cochrane Road.
Mm.
So
if instead of going to that, you probably went to the Chevron station, or did you go to the 76?
I went to neither. I get off. You know where the Carl's Jr. is at? It's like if you go. There's the Home Depot.
That's done. That's Dunn Avenue.
Okay, I'm horrible with the names. All I know is there's the Trader Joe's that I would usually hit if I have time. There's the Home Depot, and then there's the Taco Bell, the Carl's Jr., and like the McDonald's, the Jack in the Box.
I know which gas station you're talking about.
One, yeah.
It's right by Jack in the Box. So there's another one. If you go Cochrane Road and you go toward Monterey Highway, right there they've got a really nice AM/PM. That's Argo. Mm-hmm. They're actually pretty decent.
This one's nice because it's only like 4 cents cheaper to pay with credit versus cash.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's like I'm probably fudging the numbers, but I think the last time, if I remember, it was about like I'm trying to think. It was like about $3.55 a gallon, and in town it's like $3.80. So when I can, I go there because it's just a better deal.
It's a little bit of stringing in the crotch.
That's normal,
but not bad at all. That's where we bridged it.
That is normal because the crotch area actually dips down.
Yeah.
So that's a really, really tricky area to get right. So that's nothing to be worried about. But it's looking like it's printing really nice.
Well, it bridged really nice.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what it's going to do on the top part. Now, mind you, in an ideal world, we'd have it tuned better for the settings, but it's kind of like...
Well, in an ideal world, I would have raised it up. I would have pushed Filament through and saw how it ran afterward.
How it felt.
And then either reduced the temperature or whatever before I even sliced it.
Yeah. But 210 seems to be a good starting point.
What is going on with the Iligu Mars?
Absolutely nothing.
So we kind of hit a roadblock. We ordered the screen. We put the screen in. The screen didn't work. And now we're probably past where I could have returned it, I imagine. So I'm going to have to save up my pennies and probably order one directly from the Iligu is all I know to do, right?
Well, what I would do is I would contact them first and explain that you have like a very, very, very first generation machine. Yeah. Find out if they even have the screen or not, and then go from there. Because it might turn into you need a new screen, you need a new main board, because I know they've done at least 3 revisions of the board. So,
Ewan, here we see Jimmy and Calvin in their natural habitat, inspecting crotches. Look at that thing dangling down.
Somebody forgot to wipe before they came on the show.
Ugh. That's horrible, Calvin. How could you say such things? That's nastiness.
As you stand there inspecting a crotch.
Look at that crotch. Look at it. Watch the steam roll off.
And a certain somebody got a kick out of the haircut comment.
What's that?
Somebody got a kick out of the haircut comment. Oh my gosh, we have Greg.
Greg?
Have you heard that Greg is a great guy, Jim?
He is.
Really? I didn't know.
Did you ever hear that he is the greatest?
No.
He is.
Well, now I
know. How you doing, Greg? Nice to see you in there.
Yep, it's us. Just us. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Like the 8 other people watching.
What's present from you? That's cool. I'm glad it's working out great for you.
Now, the one thing I have heard about the water washable is it tends to be a bit more brittle than the regular stuff, but that's what I've heard. I haven't experienced it. I don't know if people are over curing it or not, but hey, what I've heard isn't always what it is.
True.
I mean, if there's anything that I've learned, it's never take anything at face value, ever. ever. You're usually telling a pretty edited version of the story to try and make it sound like they're the victim, and I'm like, no, I think you might have screwed up.
No. Don't go there tonight. Don't go there tonight. You mean like that other victim that happened this week?
I'm not even going to ask. Yes, Aaron got it right. If you hear it on the internet, it must be true.
That's right.
Bingo. No need to fact check nothing. No need to ask questions. It's just automatically right.
Yep. Automatically. Wow. Everything the doctors and lawyers and everything else tells you, that's all lies because the internet said so.
Should we talk about, I'm not going to name any names in this, but should I tell you about the experience I had trying to convince somebody that 5G is not what they think it is?
Oh, Lord. Can I guess what they think 5G is?
Please say what you think it was, and I'll tell you how it pretty much went down.
Oh, don't you understand that 5G is like tapping into the devil's Ethernet waves in the world, and it's going to bring the alternate reality come true and all this other garbage?
Yeah. No, pretty much it was.
Instead of, it's the 5th generation, it's the next step forward. Instead, it's like, oh my God, it's a whole new thing. Oh,
we're gonna die.
We're gonna die. We're gonna open up. What's that show that used to have where the big old ring and light up and people from other
Stargate?
Yeah, the Stargate's gonna open. It's gonna swallow the world and upon itself.
The best, worst 5G conspiracy I've heard so far is somehow there are going to be this is not what I heard from the person whose name I'm keeping out of this. I've heard like there are going to be like microparticles in the COVID vaccine that somehow are going to get activated by the 5G, and I'm like, how in the bloody heck does that work? Because it's like the person was showing off their meters to me, which by themselves are cool, but it's like I was kind of like, I was like, you do realize if you wave that thing in front of your toaster oven while it's running, it will go off, or if I fired my car up, it will go off.
Are you talking about one of those
EMP meters?
Yeah, everything sets it out.
Yeah, and that was my point. Is I'm like, I was legitimately honest. I'm like, I'd love to take the thing to work and aim it at the mill at work and see what it does. And the person is like, oh, do you mean it emits radio waves? I'm like, yeah, everything emits electromagnetic frequency. There's background EMF radiation. So I spoke to my boss, who has a PhD in physics, has absolutely no connections, period, to the cell industry, and et cetera, et cetera. And I asked him legitimately, I'm like, okay, legitimate question. What is your, physicist take on 5G and all the conspiracies around? I'm like, I don't believe it, but I'm curious, what is the scientific view of it? And in short, he pretty much said, directly the odds of 5G giving you health problems, it's not zero, but it is so minuscule. He goes, look at your cell phone. It has a case, right? Yeah. The chemicals in your cell phone case sitting in your pocket are more likely to leach into your body and give you cancer than the radiation emitted. Plus, the power of the radiation emitted from this is so minor. It's not like, nuclear ionizing radiation, which can go through you and cause all kinds of problems. It's not like I'm swallowing my cell phone. And even then, I think you have a bigger problem with, it releasing chemicals in your body than the actual radio waves. But it's just kind of like, yeah, it was an interesting conversation while we were all freezing to death. And I'm just like, oh, brother. And I'm not trying to say the person who said it is a bad person or stupid. She's very intelligent. It's sad that she's so caught up in that pretty much her MO is anything that happens is because of the cell tower up the street. And I'm just like, oh dear God, help
But
me.
refuses to wear a mask, I'm sure.
I can't comment on that.
Just a hunch.
I'm not even going to get into all of that. It's. I'm just going to put it this way. It's sad. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you know, there's still people out there that thinks the world is flat too.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on my mail from the Flat Earth Society.
Oh God, you didn't sign that.
I'm kidding.
You didn't sign
Kind of
that.
like I'm still waiting on my car's registration that I think is officially it's. I think at this point it's official. The DMV either never mailed my vehicle's paperwork, or they mailed it and it ended up in like a trash heap somewhere because the postal person couldn't deliver it for some stupid reason,
Yeah.
which I'm really irritated about because I do not want to have to deal with the DMV. So I'm just kind of like, well,
Go to AAA.
yeah, I need to do that.
It's starting to do the ears.
Good.
Will it have just the round part, or will it end up having an earring? That's the question.
I think it's doing pretty good.
It's been really good seeing that we didn't even test the temperature before we
And
started.
210 is on the slightly warmer side of PLA printing.
Yeah.
But I figure it's better to err on the side of warm
I think
versus cool.
I think it started, what, 180 to
230.
230? This is PLA plus too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of which, to be perfectly honest, I'm not saying PLA Plus doesn't have certain things that make it better or worse than regular PLA. It's just for me, for 95% of what I'm doing, I don't need the plus modifier in there, but I'm definitely curious to see how it prints in my experience. So I'm also thinking, being I do a lot of print finishing, I should also see how it sands compared to regular PLA.
Yeah.
Because by rights, mostly what I've been using now is like the Protoplasta iron filament to make like chassis for my little rail cars, because it adds some weight and I can rust it for the effect. So that's what I've been doing. The body is laser cut masonite, but
Nice.
yeah. So that's something I need to get approval from work on to sell, but I'm kind of working on some budget, because actually I need to print some seats for that because I modified the design. So thank you, GST. This stuff will be coming in handy pending where it gives me the A-OK to sell the models. That should be pretty simple.
So far, I'm very happy with this printing. I do wish I would have went with the 1.2 thickness though.
We would have been here all night.
Let's see the trucks, Calvin.
Okay. Yes, it's right, Hannah. The DMV hates me. So I'm going to move behind the camera or close to it. So,
I'll turn it so you can see it.
oh, thank you. So here you go. The original design had these areas open, but I figured being that I'm doing it in the iron, this is a disclaimer, this is Protoplasta iron filament. So this has some heft to it without adding any weight, which is good. So you can see I had it tumbling and it's starting to rust, but I've got the little coupler pockets, I've got the little step. This one I still need to put the roof on, finish the roof, but kind of goes like, wow, the lighting here is crap. Kind of goes like that. So this is a little 12-foot or 3-inch in this scale rail car for my personal layout. And then another one that I've been working on is this, which is a laser cut wooden box car that has an iron underframe as well. And then there's some grooves in it, so you can put like lead or steel or whatever to add some extra weight if you need it. But being it's made from 1/8-inch masonite, it actually has some heft to it, which is nice. Helps keep it on the track.
Cool.
You know what? Let me try moving the camera while I'm over here. Let me just try moving it in a little bit.
That looks pretty sweet.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to use a box to hold it up so I'm not getting any motion sickness.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
That looks pretty good. I mean, considering that we did no tuning at all, I'm actually really impressed with that. I mean, we might want to drop it 5C, but I wouldn't touch it at this point.
Yeah.
I would honestly just leave it for the sake of, just it's an experiment. I don't expect perfection, but it's looking
So
really
has
good.
my sock moved down on that hot end?
I'll have to check.
It looks awful low to the print.
Yeah, I think it's a little low.
I mean, it's all right. It's just, it's not touching yet, but look how
Yeah,
close it is.
It definitely, the sock definitely slid down. So If we'll have to keep eyes on that.
Four
especially if
socks
there's a fall.
up.
That's actually a cool shot. Let's keep it there for a minute.
That's a really good shot right there. Look at that.
I'll try adjusting the lighting a little bit.
Yeah, I've always found that taking some of the lighting away usually helps out better. But that's looking pretty good, though. Can you see it?
Yeah, that looks good. I mean, I don't expect it to be perfect, but
That is fairly transparent at the 2 layers.
yeah. I mean, that's one thing I will say is, at least for the blue, it's, I mean, it really, it depends upon your application. If you want it to be somewhat see-through or not.
Yeah.
I mean, and by rights, it's a lighter shade of blue.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some people like that, some people don't like that. I'm not saying that makes it good or bad filament by any means. I'm more interested in the print quality because 95% of my stuff I paint anyways. So. Aaron was asking what temps and speed for the iron. Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see that. I'm spitballing here, but I usually print it at about 200 C because the iron will conduct heat pretty well. Make sure you have at least a plated brass nozzle on your printer because if you have a regular brass one, you will chew through it pretty fast. What else? I usually print at about 45 millimeters a second. I err on the side of a little bit slower versus faster because there's some finer details in there. Usually about a 0.2 layer height, and then I have a rotary tumbler with some stainless steel pins for tumbling shot media, for like brass reloading. And then I'll load it in there for a couple of hours to tumble with a little bit of water. And eons ago, I did some videos on it, and I feel like I should do a couple more on it. But yeah, so working on that. But the reason why I tumble it, sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained here. The reason why I tumble it is it helps smooth the layer lines down a little bit, and then it also helps burnish the surface so that way it gets that light rust effect, which is exactly what I'm after, and it actually looks really good on the finished model, being that I'm pretending that these rail cars came from a friend's island-based layout, so obviously they'd be a little weather-beaten. So, yeah.
It's printing really nice.
Yeah, the body is masonite. In short, when we're cutting out, we call them easels for the machines that we make. What will happen is we will have leftover material, and normally that just goes into the dumpster. So workers like, do you want some masonite? I'm like, sure. So pretty much I designed that little rail car around the scrap mason and the boxcar originally. And I was like, well, I need a passenger car, and then it kind of just snowballed from there. But it's nice because it's smooth on both sides. It's like stuff that people use for making like actual like paintings on, things like that. So it's really good quality stuff, and I get it for free from work, and work is happy because then what goes into the dumpster is like a tenth of what normally would go in there. So that's perfect for me because then I have a practically unlimited supply of prototyping material.
He's also asking, is it that we're done with the CNC?
Is what done?
Your
panel?
machining for the masonite.
Oh, that's 45 watt laser cut on the Epilogue Mini at work.
I came so close to getting an Epilogue laser cutter or laser engraver one time.
They're nice.
So close.
So close.
That was back when they're $5,000. I was thinking about starting a deal for doing laser engraving in the wall or something.
I mean, I'll put it this way: knowing how expensive it is to get things laser cut through a commercial company,
Yeah.
cost-wise, you can pay it off pretty fast, especially if you open up your own little budget laser cutting business where it's like, give me the file, I have this material, I cut what I'm given, that's all I do. You can make money at it, but you kind of have to say to yourself, You need a ventilation system. You need to have somebody there monitoring it all the time. You can't just press go and walk away, especially on flammable materials like wood and acrylic, because fires can break out. The optics need to be changed over time. The tube goes bad over time. You know, they're very nice, but if you don't know what you're doing, they can turn into a money pit like that.
Well, they said the main thing was you had to use it regularly. Otherwise, the tube would deteriorate if it wasn't being used.
Yeah.
So it's actually better to do very low cost cutting and engraving and stuff in order to use it, rather than just use it whenever you had to.
Yeah. Versus like the 3D printer where it sits on the shelf for 6 months, gets pulled out for a day and goes back. Yeah, I get that.
Hey, Paul, thanks for joining. Take care.
Have a good one. Yeah, trust me, it's like as much as I'd love a laser cutter at this point in my life, I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'll hold off on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more than thankful that work is gracious enough to let me use the equipment, and I can't say how many times it has saved my butt. So it's kind of like I look at it as use what I've got while I've got it, because you know it's not going to be there forever. But I've said to myself, if I found myself a stable living situation and I could set up a laser cutter there, I'd definitely consider looking into getting one, even if I had to get financing for it, because it's definitely something that I could make profitable very quickly.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like back when I ran my 3D printing side hustle, I mean, even though school had 3D printing resources, the quality and the turnaround time, I had a way, way better gig on it than over at school. Plus, I offered good advice on how to design things. So it was kind of like, let's just say I got lots of free lunches out of it, and it was great. Half the time, I just tell my classmates, I'm like, just buy me something on campus. I'm a cheap eat. Just buy me a piece of pizza or two. Okay, sure. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I just want pizza. I'm hungry.
Tonight we're printing at 2.5
0.25.
Yeah, 0.25. So a little bit more than what I normally would print at, but I still don't see the layer lines to it.
I mean, they're
At
there.
least on
but
that video.
They're there, but they're not like.
They're not really pronounced.
No, and it's also a pretty organic model, so you're going to see them more at the top, but it's nothing like you know, it's not like we're using a 0.6 nozzle and we're doing 0.4 layers, but that's a whole other story. 0.4 millimeters.
Yeah.
0.4 would be ridiculously tiny.
0.04. Yeah, 0.04 would be like microscopic.
I mean, the smallest I've printed with is a 0.25, and that's actually pretty nice if you know what you're doing, but the print time takes forever.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I am only particular about when people say nozzle size is wrong, because then it confuses people when they see 0.04 and they go grab like a 0.25 and wonder why they're having printing problems. And I'm like, I think you got the wrong size there. But I do have to say, even on a Genius, slapping a 0.6 on here, you can still get some nice prints with. But you can also crank up the layer height and just crank things out like crazy.
Hey, did you see that Thomas 3D, he took and drilled out the nozzle the other day?
How big did he go?
What have I started?
Actually, I forget. I think it was Andrew Sink on. I'm sorry if I'm getting your name wrong, dude. I think it was a long time ago on Twitter or Instagram. I had mentioned why not just take an existing nozzle and drill it out, and like a worn out nozzle, and just make it a known size. I'm like, it's really not that hard to do. And then all of a sudden, people are like, I ain't ready to drill down a nozzle. I'm like, no, I'm taking the idea I saw from somebody else. It's nothing new, but have a great day.
That's funny.
I mean, I won't lie. It would probably be really stupid. It'd be fun to make a 1.5 millimeter nozzle just for the heck of it.
The only way a 1.5 millimeter nozzle would work is if you're going through a 3 millimeter filament, because you would essentially be just ramming filament out a nozzle.
Yeah, but if you had an old worn out nozzle, it'd be worth doing it just to do it.
You would have to like do an ungodly amount of heat. Yeah. You would have to take and print at a very slow
Yeah,
print speed,
but it'd be
so
totally
that you
fun
can
to
heat
do
that
it.
up enough to where it would actually melt.
Yeah, but it'd be if you have an old grungy nozzle, it'd be fun to do it just to do it.
That's the reason why a 1 millimeter with a 1.75, that would be almost overkill. That's the reason why. Didn't I go with a 0.8 or did I go with a 1?
0.8.
That's what I was thinking. I tried to keep it under 1 because I figured 1 would be going too far.
And even on that, we had to crank it to like 235 to
Yeah.
get it to even flow right.
And slow it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say I personally prefer a 0.6 because I can still bump up to about double the layer height at 0.4, but I can still maintain a good overall quality of the item.
Look at the eyes.
Dude, those are nice.
That bridge is really nice.
Helps that we have a larger model, but still. It's amazing how all that stock fan duct works.
Yeah, it works good.
Saying that for all the people who go, I need to change my fan duct. I'm like, you need to change your settings, homie.
The whole trick is to make sure that you've got the right amount of time between layers. If you don't set that, you're sunk.
Which is why it's kind of like settings is such a big thing that I would. Back when I was more active on the pages, now I'm kind of like, you know what? I paid my dues. I need to go find something more productive to do. But back when I used to be on there more often, it was just like I would constantly tell people, I'm like, it's in the settings. I know I sound like a broken record. It's in the settings. I promise you.
Those forums have become so toxic, I don't even mess with them anymore.
I literally have gone around and just muted all notifications on them. I mean, if I see something worth commenting on, I'll comment on it, but I'll immediately turn off notifications when I'm done, just because I don't need to get dragged into some crap fest in the comments.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Respect it.
I can't wait to see what this crown looks like.
Ditto. That's the reason why.
I'm afraid it's going to string because I still think the heat might be a little bit high.
Well, that's the reason why when I
But
saw
we'll
the
see.
King Marvin, I'm like, we gotta do King Marvin,
King Marvin.
just because it has that crown on top. It's gonna look dope.
Yeet.
What have I done? Boomer millennial.
I am not a boomer. I'm Generation X, man.
Oh, while we're at it, the other night was this old geezer's birthday.
Yes, last night. Yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
How does another trip around the sun feel, sir?
Yeah, about the same.
When you hit.
I just find myself taking a lot more ibuprofen every day.
Welcome to getting older.
Well, now that I walk between 10 and 14 miles a day.
By rights, you
man.
should be sore.
Yeah.
Golly.
The hair's looking good. Or whatever that's supposed to be out in front of it.
That's just the front of the visor.
Is that what it is?
Which is also another tricky to bridge spot. Being that you're effectively printing into midair. No, I gotta say, I mean, despite the transparency of the filament, which is something that I'm neutral on.
Yeah, it's just all you gotta do is just print thicker.
Yeah, which when I say I'm neutral on, it's like if you want it to be
I can tell it's
see-through.
gonna be transparent because I'm looking through that.
Yeah.
And it's like looks neon because of the light passing through it.
Which is something somebody did comment on the filament is it is a bit more transparent, but you know,
Which is fine.
yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's everybody has their favorite, everybody has their use case for it. For me, it's either just quick and dirty prototyping or it's getting painted over anyways. It doesn't really matter. But obviously, I just need cheap filament for prototyping versus I need like high quality filament for, you know, stuff.
Yeah.
Like, everybody different.
That was a pretty good test for that film. That's looking really nice.
Yeah. The chat has stalled again.
I did see where Greg was asking earlier how much this machine costs. This is what, a $200 or $300 machine?
I think it's about $350 on average.
$350?
Yeah, I'm gonna say $350, which it's a bit on the pricier side for a machine of its build volume, but personally speaking, I think it's worth the $350 that they charge for pull it out of the box and I'm not saying to rush putting it together, but hypothetically speaking, you pull out of the box and 5 minutes later you're printing, 4 bolts and a little bit of plugging things in. It's a good machine.
Yeah.
I
like it.
I do too. It's compact, which is nice because I can just stick it in the back seat of my car and, I have a printer with me. What I really want to do one of these days is just for giggles, set the thing up in the back seat of my car with a camera and just do like a King Marvin trip, like drive around town.
I still want to do this video with my Be Creator 2, where it's a time lapse where it slowly zooms out and it's on cinder blocks upside down printing.
Oh gosh,
I still want to do it.
We gotta do that.
Have the camera upside down, but have it where it looks like a normal print, except it's.
Yeah, one thing
I still think you can print upside down. I believe it can.
I think it can. Angus did that years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing that I'd love to do would be to find a way.
Aaron said, she got your ears lowered.
Yeah. $25 later, including tip. I got a haircut. I thought about getting a perm and being like Bob Ross, but I'm like, no. I cannot disgrace Bob Ross and do that, so I'm not. But no, I won't lie. I like having longer hair, but it was getting to the point of being an absolute pain in the butt. Like every time I'd work on the machine, I'd literally pull my head out with like coolant dripping out of my hair, and I'm like, no.
Comes to a point where I'm surprised your bosses didn't say, "Hey, get a haircut."
Nope. Because one of my bosses has bright orange pink hair, and my other boss has a ponytail. They do not care.
Wow.
Nope.
From a safety standpoint, I would think they would say no.
Nope. All they said was just tie your hair back when doing anything involving spinning stuff. I'm like, I already know that.
Okay.
That's all. And, which is something I do anyways, even when I'm not at work, just to play it safe. Yeah, it is California. It is the Bay Area.
California, man.
I work in Sunnyvale.
Come on, man.
I lived in San Francisco long enough. Okay, I lived between two of the crazier sections, so we'll leave it at that.
I've lived in San Francisco long enough. Okay.
It was really funny though. Have you ever seen Arrested Development?
No.
Okay. There's a scene in Arrested Development where one of the characters, Tobias Fiyunke, is in the show. He plays a closeted gay guy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can tell that he is, but he keeps denying that he is, and it's hilarious because his
like Mr. Garrison.
Yeah.
I'm not gay.
No, but there's a really funny scene where one of the characters, where his daughter, I think, like gets a leather jacket or something, and he wants to be cool, so he goes to the leather store, and and it turns out to be like a gay leather fetish store. So it's really funny because Tobias tells the guy goes, "Sir, do you smell?" He goes, "Yes." Do you see that it says, "Daddy likes leather"? And the guy takes it to mean, "Oh, you mean a leather daddy?" He goes, and he doesn't know what it means. He goes, "Yes." And then he comes in just wearing something, and I was laughing harder than I should have when I'd seen that scene because it was straight out of me walking through the Castro at like 9 o'clock at night coming home. I'm just like, oh, this brings back some memories. Okay. I've seen some things. I'm just going to put it that way. We're talking in the station, out of the station, walking down the street, getting a hot dog late at night over the...
Whoa, I don't want to hear about what you get late at night.
Yeah, I won't tell you this story about my old coworker having to go rescue his then girlfriend and her quote friends from behind the Castro Theater.
Oh God,
that's for an 18+ stream. We're not discussing that here. Can
we change that now?
It's bad. And I can't tell it any way like he can, though. Hey, it's starting to print brown.
Yeah, it's been on the crown for a little bit. Is that what they call it? Getting a hot dog? Yes, that is what they call it.
Probably doesn't help the name of the hot dog joint was called Dapper Dog. Still can't tell which one's worse, Dapper Dog or Hot Cookie.
Dapper Dog, that used to be over there by across from the zoo, wasn't it?
I have no clue.
It seems to me it was.
Yes, it was very scandalous indeed. Very scandalous. Although I will say, Hot Cookie, though, while their cookies are not cheap, they're actually really good. I just won't tell you about the bleep-shaped bleep cookie. Here, if we mute the microphone, I'll tell you. That's like,
Oh my god!
and that's what they are known for. It's like if you ever mention that place, people go, "Oh, you mean that thing?" And I'm like, I don't buy that.
The King Kong Wonder Dong.
I'm not gonna say.
Oh, it's not muted.
I'm not gonna say some of the names. Look it up for yourself if you're bored. Just don't do it with children around, and don't do it at work.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Although I won't lie.
The Dapper Dog guys have handlebar mustaches.
I'm not commenting on that one, Aaron. Although I will say I have run into some, and I'm a straight guy, but I did run into.
Are you?
I didn't buy the bleep-shaped bleep cookie. Jeez. No, I will say, though, it's like, the one thing I miss being out in that section of SF is just...
Your selection of wording in this is hilarious.
It's only because it's one of the few areas that I felt like I could be at, like, past 9 o'clock at night and not constantly feel like I had to look over my shoulder for some homeless bum that was going to bum rush you. Only because there were a ton of people in the area, and if anything happened out there, it was pretty bad for publicity. So everybody in their own right looked out for each other, which, you know, was nice. They didn't care what you were. It was kind of like if anything happened, it was going to be bad publicity, and they were going to lose a lot of money because there were a crap ton of bars in the area as well.
Hey, Lightspeed, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hey, have a good one.
Nice. Told me happy birthday. We tell him have a good one. It's like, welcome, goodbye. Sounds like a bad connection with AOL going on right there.
Sounds like you just had a hookup for the night.
Welcome. You've got mail. Goodbye.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I know, Eric.
They were kind of bum rush.
I know. There might be some scandalous innuendo in there that's intentional. I'm just going to leave it at that. I think somebody watching this is just dying laughing right now.
We're probably getting gassed by the heater tonight.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. We do have the kerosene heater going. This is what happens when you don't spend enough time on set.
Right?
Although I will say, though...
I do have to say, though, when we do our live streams, I average about 20 people getting that unsubscribe from the channel. I have yet to get more subscribers from a live stream. I usually lose subscribers the next day.
Who cares? You gain them back quick enough.
I do. I don't. It is. Once I hit 10,000, it's like, okay, I'm good.
I only look at my numbers. when I look at my numbers, it's not to be like, oh, this video is doing better than the other. It's just kind of to see if there's a trend on what's more popular than not. But even then, it's still kind of like, I'm still going to do my own thing. It's just if I know there's something really, really popular, I might consider getting on it. But then it's kind of like, no, I just kind of just do my own thing.
I just wished I could have another Harry Land video. Actually, I'd like to see a Harry Land video hit 3 million views. That's what I'd like to see.
I think it'll happen.
I'd like to have another good video like that.
I think honestly, what we need to do is we need to go back and do a remix of the Hairy Lion.
Nah, that
Ship sailed.
Yeah, that ship sailed a long time ago. That thing's done.
Well, I think something that
There's got to be something new.
Well, we still have to work on the part for your truck. Oh God.
Yeah.
I was checking who it was because I'm thinking, is it? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I kind of went the way of the coronavirus.
Oh, don't get me started on everybody making comments about the timing of everything regarding that. I hate this, and I don't say this lightly, and I really hate saying this, but anymore I don't know who and what to believe, so I just kind of take it all with a bit of cynicism.
I'm going to tell you a little secret. Politics is dirty.
Oh, gee, I didn't know that.
Politics is so dirty.
I meant the news reporting on it.
The whole game behind politics is who can tell the most lies to get the most people to believe it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they can't do nothing that they promised they could do. They can't.
No.
And I got to say this. No matter who would have won, I am thankful for one thing, and that's for a split Congress.
Yeah. Because
that makes it where nobody can push nothing through without there being
bipartisan
support.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's one thing I really am thankful for, is that there's a split Congress.
It keeps things under control.
Yep.
Because then you don't have one side trying to just ram legislation through and the other side sitting on their hands being, we can't do anything about it. And it's
I don't get political on here, but that's one thing that I do have to say President Obama really messed up, is when they pushed the Affordable Care Act through. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. You can't take and push something through with that magnitude along a party line.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where if he would have took, and when that was handed to him, if he would have said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for passing this, but I cannot, in good conscience, sign this bill into law unless we get the Republicans on board.
Yeah.
Had he done that, he would have been like the most amazing. He's great.
All hail the king.
But instead, no. It's like, no, you just messed up. I don't care if at that time I was part of that party, and I'm like, no.
That doesn't.
That's not the right thing to do.
No. And it definitely didn't help things going forward.
I know. They called California 2 minutes after it closed at 8 o'clock.
And here's the thing. I didn't even drop off my ballot until like 5:30. So how in the world could my ballot go from my car into the box to being counted that fast?
Well, it's like one of my aunts. She was very upset because 3 days later they still hadn't counted her ballot.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, because California 3 days later was only at 66% of everything being counted.
And
she's like, this makes no sense. It's like, well, what they do is they go by what they think as far as the spread.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is. So you have somebody who is at 66%. You got somebody who's not that high. They pretty much say, okay, well, that's almost a landslide victory at that point.
Yeah.
But there was other states where it was like, it's like they have messed up so many elections here recently in the last 2 or 3 presidential elections, where they would call a state and then they'd have to take it back.
Yeah. And then that doesn't help anybody because you're giving people false hope.
Right.
And then the other side's going, oh, it's a conspiracy. And it's just like, oh, come on.
Yeah, it's
Nobody's in the right.
No, that's not. It's the whole thing is just kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing I will say.
Politics is one of those things. It's like stepping in dog manure. Long after you get it cleaned off your shoe, you're still going to smell it.
Yeah,
and that's the way politics is. It's just a very dirty, disgusting thing.
Yeah,
which is sad because it shouldn't.
No.
Yeah, it should not be.
It should not be about personal gratification and me, get, self. It's supposed to be, I'm supposed to be here representing my people and getting my people what they need, not, gee whiz, how much public pension money can I squirrel away and then flee the country?
And if you don't think the politics is dirty, let me bring one thing to your attention. A senator, congressman, whatever you call them, they make what, $175,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
How
many of them report on their income tax $175,000 as their earnings? They don't. It's always in the millions. It's like, oh, where did this come from? Well, it's because of all the backdoor deals they did. Next thing you know, they're getting money from this one. They're getting money from that one. To me, the most honest politician is the one who reports that they made $175,000. There's the one that told that's looking out for the people. They're not taking a hand out from somebody else in order to vote a certain way.
Yeah.
The moment somebody reports that they're making millions of dollars and they're a congressman, no.
The one thing I will say is the one thing that I really wish was a rule, and we all know odds of this happening are very slim, is I wish there was a rule that said you cannot use financial means when lobbying for certain things, because effectively it's a legalized bribe.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And it reduces and I'm not saying that everybody who takes the money has ill intention, so I'm not trying to just say, oh, it's all bad, but there's always going to be that fact that because money is involved, people are going to look at it differently. You're going to look at it differently.
Yeah.
You're going to think about it differently. And that dilutes what it's not supposed to be about the money. It's supposed to be about what it's actually standing for. So that's one of the very few things that I wish would change. But we all know there is so much money in that.
It won't change.
It will not change. And even then,
it's like term limits. When was the last time you saw any congressman vote for term limits?
Never.
They don't want term limits. And that's one of those things where it's going to have to be the American people
that force it.
Vote for term limits.
Put it on the ballot and make it happen.
Right. Because Congress will never do it.
I mean, I remember having a very interesting conversation with my Norwegian, who's he has a permanent residency card for out here, but is also a Norwegian citizen, so he can't vote. But he had a very interesting view on politics and stuff, being that he can't vote here. But he pretty much goes, honestly, I really wish people had to take a civics test before they were given the right to vote, because he goes, the problem is, it's sad that me as a Norwegian citizen who could vote if I went to the Norwegian consulate, I can still vote in Norwegian elections. He goes, I just choose not to because I don't keep on top of it. Because it's sad when me as a non-citizen seems to know more about civics and how the government works than 95% of the population. And I can't vote because of my status. And I'm like, that's pretty sad. When somebody who can't vote shows more interest in our politics than people who can vote and don't make an informed decision.
Like Lightspeed is talking about, how could somebody like Joe Biden be a millionaire?
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Well,
the thing is, look at Bernie Sanders. He's one of the champions of the people. He was like, we got to take a do this. We got to do that. And even he reports millions of dollars. And it's like, how?
You're a sellout.
There's all of them are sellouts.
Yeah.
I don't care I've yet to hear one of them report the earnings that they actually earn.
Wage.
It's always more than. And it's like,
and it's not like
how?
A couple G's more. It's like way more.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, they've got some, stocks and bonds and dividends and all that crap.
Or they got a business and they earn so much money from it, which if I remember right, when you're in Congress, you're not supposed to have a business that you're earning money from. Because it's one of those things you're not supposed to do.
Well, I mean, it's like, let's say you had savings and whatnot before you went in there. I don't know what all the rules are, but yeah, it's like I have money in the bank that earns money on itself, and that's great.
Yeah.
But I make what I make at my job and things like that. But yeah, it's not like I'm secretly running some underground operation making millions of dollars. No. The worst
You
I
make
ever did.
millions of dollars whenever you take and you vote a certain way that people want you to vote, though.
That's the reason why I'm not in politics.
There's a lot of the politicians who will actually go into Congress and they'll serve. I forget what the minimum they have to serve in order for them to get their lifelong retirement.
Their pension, effectively.
I forget if it's months or if it's a year. But
Do the bare minimum.
They
and
do
then
the bare
get back
minimum
out.
and they dip out. And you know what they end up becoming? Lobbyists.
Yeah.
Because there's more money being a lobbyist than there is being a politician.
Yeah.
But if they serve that minimum amount of time,
Then they get that money.
they get that lifetime benefits package from the government, and then they can go and play.
Yeah.
Which that right there is another thing that's like that should be shut down.
I mean, it's
Once you are an elected official, you should not be allowed to become a.
it's like an ex-cop becoming a lawyer.
A drug dealer.
Well,
It's like an ex-cop becoming a drug dealer.
like a
That's
narcotics.
equivalent to it.
Because the thing is, or it's like an ex-cop becoming a shady lawyer.
Yeah.
When you know how the system works, you know how to game the system to get people who really should be locked up off their charges. But you're not using your knowledge to benefit people who were wrongly accused. You're using it to let Joe Coke Snorter get off for the 50 gazillionth time while all of his customers are dying who really need the help.
Uh-oh.
Boy.
Teresa's up in his sizzle.
Oh.
Yes.
No.
How you doing?
Oh dear. No. How's it going, Teresa? Keep it monetizationable in the chat, please.
Hang that. Let it all hang out, girl.
Mr. making comments about I'm not going there. We need to get you filming more videos, sir.
Yes.
I'm holding you to that.
Look at that. There's a little bit of string in between.
Oh, whatever.
I mean, like a little wisp.
I don't even worry about that.
Just one. I only see one wisp, actually.
I mean, it passes the 3-foot rule.
It's looking good.
Yeah, I'm really impressed.
So is this the Burger King Marvin? Is that what this was called?
It's called King Marvin because 3D Hubs is a Dutch company.
She says, I'm not that bad.
Good luck getting methylated spirits, though, for putting
She's
up
still
the
wearing
sweat.
pants.
She's-
Oh, man. She's getting any cubic a photon?
I was saying before you cut me off, I was saying good luck getting methylated spirits down there to clean your prints with, but that's another story. It's denatured alcohol.
Isn't that called Petro?
Yeah. Methylated spirits is their term for denatured alcohol.
Oh, okay.
It's just ethanol that usually has methanol or another chemical in it, so you can't drink it, which is what denatured alcohol is. It's industrial alcohol. Oh, IPA, that'll work too. Good
Just
luck
soak
with
in
it.
whiskey. It'll be fine.
For a while there, I think bottom shelf vodka was cheaper than IPA, and I'm not even kidding.
You get the right stuff, it still is.
Yeah.
It would work, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's just the thing is you can't get really high proof stuff in California.
Well, she's not in California.
I know. I don't know what the alcohol laws out there are in the various sectors.
She says she's got plenty of IPA.
Okay, good.
Still do a video on vodka. That'd be a good one.
That would be pretty funny, actually. I wonder if you can buy higher proof alcohol in Nevada.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Across the border.
Next time I'm out there for the train museum, I think I'm going to have to get some.
Next time you're out there, let me know because I got some more stuff I need you to pick up.
I know. I need to check when the train when the railroad museum is running anything worth the 3 to 4 hour trip to get out there.
So that front one's gonna be a taller piece.
Yeah.
Oh, here it goes. This is gonna go at it now.
Yeah.
There's where the 10-second
Oops.
is kicking in.
Doesn't now. One thing I will say is it doesn't help that the silicone sock is probably blocking the fan, but I'm not touching
It's
it.
almost touching that print now. I think it's worked down a little bit further.
She's been hanging out in the guards compartment of the New South Wales train's V sets. What are you doing in the guards compartment? Are you working there now? You just finished. Oh yeah.
Look at that. Oh, that sock's falling back down too.
I'll deal with it later. That
Look at that.
that is well now it's not focused anymore.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's awesome. Let me look up what the NSW V sets are.
Try to get it where it'll focus a little bit better. It just doesn't want to focus that great.
Oh, those are those interesting bi-level cars. Those are really cool. Surprised that you actually have. Give it a minute. Surprised that you actually have guards on the train. A guard is a conductor out here. Yeah, Hannah. That thing, considering that we did zero, like, tuning or anything, that looks really, really
Zero
good.
tuning, no leveling.
No, nothing. We just literally pulled the printer off. I wiped the bed down, put the film in,
Oh
and
my
we pressed
god,
go.
my printer never went to level. The bed's not straight. It's warped. It's this, it's that.
You're the problem.
You know what
95% of the time.
Well, you know what the biggest problem is? Nobody compresses their springs.
Yeah.
You gotta
I
compress the
keep
springs.
telling people to do that, and they keep staring at me strange.
I don't understand.
I'm literally going to go to the hardware store and buy some nuts to use as spacers, so you can keep your sensor at the same height, but you'll artificially compress it.
Dude. Okay, that filament's won me over. That
That is nice.
won me over.
I think if I really
That-
lay down.
Turned out really good. Sacrilege.
Nah, it's still stuck. Yeah, the bed's still at 58. It'll take a minute.
Yeah. That looks good though.
That is crisp. All things considered.
You can feel the layer lines. If we would have went 0.2, it would have been just fine, but we went 0.25. So that's a little bit rougher than usual.
I mean, the ears turned out really
They
good.
turned out really good.
The crown did way better than I thought it would.
Look at how that did. I mean,
Yeah.
there's only one string. If you look right here,
I mean, compared
and
to
one little wisp right there.
like this really tiny spider web hair.
Yeah, a little spider web. That's the only one I see.
And,
I don't see it between any of the other ones.
and considering some other prints that I've seen and done in the past, that is nothing. Absolutely nothing.
That was at 210.
210. 205, and it probably would have. I mean, personally,
I'm happy with 210.
you know, I personally like to err on the side of a little bit hotter with my filaments, so I
Yeah,
get
'cause
better
it's-
layer bonding.
It also gives you a shinier finish too.
Yeah.
The hotter you print, the shinier it gets.
Yeah. No, that is spiffy. High five, dude. I think, okay. Based off this test print, I'm calling this pretty good. Now, obviously, we need to do more testing, but based off what we just saw, I'm really, really impressed because I'm so used to companies going, our filament's the best, our filament's the best. And I print with it, I'm like, yeah, it's fine filament. That's great. It prints. It does what it says it does. But no, that is smooth. That is nice.
I've got to say, GST 3D's filament's pretty good, especially for the price.
Yeah.
I was looking at their website earlier, and I believe it's what, $15.99 a roll,
Yeah, minimum 3.
and they're 1 kilogram rolls, right?
Yeah.
1 kilogram rolls, 1.75. They have a huge selection of colors that you can choose from.
Including the hex values, which is nice.
If you purchase 3 of them, it's $15.99 free shipping. If you purchase, what is it, 6?
Just link them to the website.
Let's see, where's it at? GST 3D.
Because if you pick it up from them directly, you can get it even cheaper. But obviously, none of us are near Miami, and it's not,
I'll put a
$3 a
link.
roll to buy.
I don't know if the link will actually let me do it.
Like,
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
let me put it in there. So that's the link to the website. I just put it in the chat.
can I see the mouse real quick?
So you got your choice of a 3-pack for $15.99
Each
each. You got a 6-pack,
limited time offer.
which brings it down to $13.33 a kilogram. So that's for each roll, and then if you get a 10-pack, it's
13
$13.
a roll.
And then if you want to drive to Florida, it's $9.99 each.
Isn't too bad. Can I see the mouse real quick?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
But yeah, I'll be ordering some of that because I'd like to get more of that.
Yeah. No, I'm impressed. I mean, quite honestly, I don't use a lot of filament because I tend to farm my workout through Sculpteo. But for the prototyping that I do, I'm definitely going to be using this. That's for sure. So, yeah,
This time I was listening to it, sounds a little,
hollow.
no, it sounds harder
Really?
than some of the filament I've printed with, which is all right. Yeah, don't be careful with my bed. Is that my printer or your printer?
Mine has PEI on the bed.
Hey. Okay, so check this out. You're at here. So that little string down there in the crotch,
Pretty normal.
that's not bad. Look under the ear. A
That
little
is
bit
really
of a
good.
loop there.
That's normal.
Look under the eyes. That looks good.
Yeah.
That looks really good. And it survives the drop test.
Okay, Linus.
That looks really good.
And honestly, I'm curious how it would print now once the sock is reinserted properly, because it was not getting full cooling on the nozzle.
Yeah. True. Wonder why the sock keeps falling down.
I'll take care of that. I know how they work.
What do you?
Yeah, I will say though, you don't know how many times I had to argue with people who thought that the sock was there to prevent the filament from oozing out from the nozzle, and I'm like, oh my gosh, no.
It's just meant to keep the heat into the hot end.
Yeah, it's supposed to just act like a insulator.
That keeps it more even heat so that it's not doing the up and down as the blower's on it.
Yeah,
Make it cool down extra fast.
and that's what I told people. And I'm like,
Yeah, this is the GST 3D filament. And I am extremely happy with the way that turned out.
yeah, that's.
Extremely
Let me
happy.
try killing one of the lights. There we go.
Yeah. Extremely happy with that. You could always do the black light.
Yeah.
Do the black light, turn the light off, make it glow. I wonder if it would. Ooh. Spooky.
Yeah, let me try kicking on one of the regular lights. Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah, that looks good right there. Like Aaron says, impressive.
There we go. Oh. That it's sick. Oh my gosh. You know what actually be really cool to do would be to do a time lapse of a print with glow in the dark filament under a black light. Yeah, well there is TK's freaking
TK's dragon right there.
Not done in GST 3D filament, but you know. Okay.
Yeah, didn't I do that with the
Glow.
glow in the dark?
Yeah. You totally munched your nozzle, but it was worth it.
To turn off the main light and see if it just glows. No, it really doesn't.
It needs. Yeah, there's too much ambient light.
Yeah, it's just too much. That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, you want to put the camera back on the tripod? And
Yeah.
finish this thing out?
Sounds like a plan.
My eyes are hurting from that black light.
All right. Put the camera back up. All right, we'll just use that for the moment.
You want to turn on the light?
No, because it looks more spooky and.
It does look spooky.
I mean, we're concluding the show anyway, so why turn on all the lights if we don't need to?
True. It's time to go to bed anyway.
Yeah.
Well, me to my bed, you do yours.
Okay, big boy.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. And most of all, GST 3D, thank you very much for sending this filament. We sure appreciate it. We're going to really enjoy using it. And I can't wait to see what else we print with it. I've got a project in mind already, that, especially with the silver, I would like to try out.
Yeah, we can totally do that.
Yeah. But definitely thank you very much for sending that to us. We're going to really enjoy using it. And you'll probably be getting an order from me here very, very soon, because I need to replenish some of my supplies after all those
Ear savers.
ear savers that kind of tapped me out. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Take care, and we will catch you in the next one.